Welcome to your favorite news network, the Dusty News Network. You know where Negro news comes first, and I'm so excited to be your host today. Breaking news. Travis Hunter is a very special case. I don't think there's been an athlete like him in the last 10 years who's done something so silly, which is getting married to a woman with no prenuptial agreement, especially with a history of getting her cheeks clapped across social media like Leanna Lenee. Like, she didn't even try to hide it. It was all there. It's all visible. He saw the proof. He had every reason to cut her off, but didn't do it. And he was reprimanded for it.
Hunter has a prenup. Everyone who's married has a prenup. It just was written by the state. It was written by the government. Okay. Rather than written by him and the person he allegedly loves more than the other 8 billion other options in the world. Like, every marriage has a prenup. A prenup is just a rule set. Okay. Right. And Travis Hunter is a smart guy who knows how to play within a rule set, because his NFL career and his college career, all this demonstrates how well he plays within a rule set. Anytime I've represented professional athletes, which I've many of over a 25-year career, I can tell you, these guys know how to work within a rule set. They know how to bend a rule set. They know how to comport themselves to what's expected of them. But what's foolish here is that he has decided, look, I've been to the DMV. I've never walked into the DMV and went, these people should be in charge of everything. They should be in charge of the rules of my relationship. And see, NFL players in particular are really susceptible, because here's why. NFL players have the shortest careers of professional.
But wait, there's more. So Travis Hunter is still spending money before even playing an NFL game. And we know that he got recently married to Leanna Lenee, and he bought her a $600,000 car or a truck, a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. Okay, so we know about that, but he hasn't stopped. Okay, get this: a breathtaking 13-room mansion. All right, before he even plays a game. This lavish mansion is 8,125 square foot. It's located inside of the gated Deerwood Country Club. It contains 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, and a 4-car garage. It is on an incredible 7.5 acres and includes an outdoor swimming pool, pickleball court, home gym, billiards table, and theater room. Okay? Now, I know guys are going to think about what is to be worried about regarding the prenuptial agreement. Of course, we already know that part. But let's look at it from another perspective, okay? Just last year, Caleb Williams, it was rumored that he bought a $13 million home. He was the #1 pick in the 2024 draft, and Travis Hunter is the #2 pick of 2025. He bought allegedly a house worth $12.9 million, and Cam Newton talked about that, and this is what he had to say.
As soon as you buy something, or as you're considering buying something, you need to also be considering the escape plan. What was the quote on Heat? Did y'all see that?
Elaborate.
Never be attached to something that you can't leave in 60 seconds.
So he said, hey, you might not want to buy something that you can't liquidate within 60 seconds. Now, that's interesting because probably Cam Newton, who's a former #1 pick himself, most likely made this same mistake. But this second point he's going to make is awesome.
But understand this.
It's a backbreaker.
That's still your investment 4 years down the pipeline, and you talk about, bro, I want to trade. And you're going to be stuck with that fee on 3 acres, 2.9. Yeah.
Now, he's like, hey, in the NFL, you're buying a home thinking you're going to be there forever, but things change so much in the league, guys. We already know coaching staffs changes. The Jaguars were not good that last year, so it's possible that they could bring in a new head coach. They can bring in a new general manager, and that general manager or head coach can convince the owner, hey, listen, Travis Hunter is a liability in the system that we want to run. We don't want him there anymore. It's the same thing that happened with Aaron Glenn and the Jets. Now, Aaron Glenn, the new head coach of the New York Jets, wanted nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. All right. He was like, look, I'm the head coach now, so I'm bringing you in. We got a new general manager. We don't believe that we want you there. So you're done. All right. And Rodgers had to go, and he just signed recently with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's also take into account that it'd be hard for you to sell your house. Look at Deebo Samuels. Okay. Deebo Samuels is one of those players that requested a trade, not just once, but twice. Okay. And he bought a house. It's now listed for $5 million. I believe he sold it, but it was in Morgan Hill. And hey, before he got traded to the Washington, D.C. Commanders, he had to basically sell his house. Remember, he probably bought this home. He has 550 pair of shoes inside of this house, but believing that he may be there for his entire career. And do you think he'll be dumb enough to basically get traded and buy another home like this again? Probably not. He'll probably just lease a very nice house, but he probably won't know what's going to happen. But the last part is interesting.
And not a lot of people can buy, or not say 2.9, 12.9.
Yeah, 12.9.
In Chicago.
So here he's like, look, how many people, talking about Caleb Williams again, could even afford that house? This is another question about living in Jacksonville. Jacksonville, Florida is not Miami. All right. I can see somebody wanting to buy a house like that in Miami. I can see somebody buying a house like that in New York City, maybe, or even LA. But Jacksonville, Florida, how many people could buy Travis Hunter's house that wants to live in Jacksonville? Now, Jacksonville is the largest city by population in Florida. I did not know that. But who wants to live in Jacksonville? I mean, talk about Florida. Where do you want to live? Everybody wants to go to Miami. You hear about Tampa. You hear about Orlando. Like, it's not Jacksonville, I think, that people are wanting to live. I'm pretty sure property value is much higher in Miami or Tampa than it is in Jacksonville, Florida. So it may be very hard to sell. We don't know. But again, it's a bad move to make when you're on a team that's losing, and the general manager and the head coach that brought you in most likely will not be there unless you guys make the playoffs next year, and you probably won't make the playoffs next year. Travis. You're making all the wrong mistakes, son. And, you know, it's interesting how people think that they're going to be different from somebody else and don't want to listen to other people's experiences because it's them. And that's typical of young people. And that's why there are going to be always so many opportunities in the world, because of people who are stubborn and think like Travis Hunter. Bruh, you got to understand that people have been through these experiences before, and you're just like 22 years old and you're making all of the wrong choices because you just feel like you're going to double down, and you are doubling down on stupidity. And again, a $3.2 million house, just buying it when you don't know if you're going to be on that team in the next 3 to 4 years. Here's what I would suggest to anybody. Just rent. It's better to rent. If you want to buy something or have like a real estate holding company where you buy several assets, I mean, I can understand somebody doing that. You know, you might want to invest in $1 million worth of property in a certain place and hold that in a holding company. That is to be expected. But just to buy a $3.2 million home in a city you may or may not be in the next 3 to 4 years is crazy, especially when it's tied to no prenuptial agreement. Because if she leaves, she'll automatically get half of that house and she'll get to keep it, and you'll have to pay for it or have to sell it. And then who are you going to sell it to? It's a lot of people that only want to live in Jacksonville, Florida as it is. But hey, what do I know? You're richer than me. Next story. So guys, we're going all the way to Nashville, which is technically in Tennessee, one of the dustiest states I cover here on the program. And today we're dealing with this beautiful young lady, Yolandrea Bond. Now, Yolandrea Bond is 36 years old, and she got into it with her 17-year-old daughter. This is not uncommon. I mean, both are still very young, and people disagree all the time. But what happened next might shock you.
This is the Richland Hills apartments on Maudina Avenue. Police say when they got there, Yolandrea Bond told them that she and her daughter had been fighting right before the shooting. And she told police she fired a shot through her daughter's bedroom door to scare her, but the bullet hit the daughter in the leg. Now, I was looking at the affidavit. It does not say how old the daughter is, but the daughter is listed as a juvenile. Bond right now, the mom, is charged with aggravated assault, and her bond is set at $30,000.
Now, Yolandrea is saying that she fired this gun to scare her daughter but stopped the show. Why does Yolandrea Bond look like a Chicago YN? She looks like a mixtape rapper with no sales family. I don't know what this person is. This lady looks like a Pookie for real. Like Pookisha, whatever. You already like you got like 4 strikes and you're already a convicted felon. You look like it. You look like you're a YN. The fact that you out here trying to shoot guns because you want to scare somebody is ridiculous. How did you even get the gun in the first place? You know what? Stop the show. It don't even matter. You're from Tennessee. Woo! People from Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida, and Georgia always find a way to get illegal weapons and do something like this on my show. So never mind. I answered my own question. Now your ass is going to be in trouble forever. Next story. So this Lex Lady here is giving some relationship advice for you women out there who have been in toxic relationships with men. And it does happen, right? And my apologies if you were in a toxic relationship. I don't know why you didn't call me. I could have definitely helped you with that. But let's see if she's right.
Literally the bare minimum. And you're going to be like, oh my God, the love of my life. This is not the love of your life. After a cycle of dating toxic men, or maybe you were the toxic one, you are going to date a really nice guy. He is going to be so good to you. That is not your man. This is the first guy that has given you the bare minimum treatment. This is the first guy who has showed you what the foundation of dating someone should look like. Kindness, thinking of the other person, opening doors for you, literally the bare minimum. And you're going to be like, oh my God, the love of my life. This is not the love of your life. This is just a dude. I understand because that happened to me. It's happened to a lot of my friends. It's that first healthy relationship that you get into after a cycle of toxic ones. This is your opportunity to take a step back, and instead of attaching yourself to this human being because they're giving you the bare minimum, you need to understand what it is that you actually want in a relationship, in a partner. You need to understand if you are the person that you want to be with yet. You have this idea that this person is the one for you because they're kind and nice, but that is the bare minimum. You should have more outside of just the kindness that they show you in the relationship to build a long-term relationship. That's not your man. I promise you that is not your man.
Now she's saying that if you're in a toxic relationship and you've always been in toxic relationships, the first guy that is treating you nice is not the person you're supposed to be with, because that person is showing you what a healthy relationship looks like. So you probably shouldn't be with that person. You should wait until you're ready to commit and get to somebody better. I can agree with that to a certain degree, but life is not always about what's better. Life is all about what's available. Okay. You can always find somebody you think that's better, and ultimately that might not even be the case. A lot of ladies, I think, understand this, and even in the comment sections, like, well, man, this guy is showing you love. Like, that's an opportunity for you. And this whole idea is that, the guy will come around. This person will come around. I just don't agree with that. I feel like nobody comes. You got to go to it. I mean, we all got to be active in getting to college when we were young. We got to be active in getting the kind of career that we want. I mean, you need to put yourself in the position to be what the person is. And sometimes you can get lucky. I think if you find a good man or a good woman and they're around you and you didn't do anything, you got lucky, right? Usually you have to be progressing into becoming somebody that somebody else wants. I see so many times women just thinking that somebody's going to come to them because, of who they are. And really they may not be trying to add a lot of value to a man's life or something like that. And then what happens is you got lucky one time and you may very well find yourself in a situation of being toxic. And one of the reasons why that might be able to happen is because you might be toxic. One of the reasons why men and women get into toxic relationships is because they're toxic themselves. So you meet somebody who is not toxic and you may still be toxic, and then you ignore the individual thinking that somebody's going to better come. thinking that somebody's going to come better, and that person's probably not going to come because you're not better. You're probably still toxic. So every day you don't get an opportunity to find a good friend or find a good mate. You know, there are opportunities in business, there are opportunities in other things, but finding good people is very difficult, especially as you get older. You might want to take the chance when somebody really shows they care about you, especially if you like them back. So guys, we had a hell of a show. We had our boy Travis Hunter buying more stuff that he probably won't be able to afford for Leanna Lenee. We have Yolandrea Bond, aka Mama YN, who's out there gunshots shooting at her daughter. Then we have the last chick who's giving this kind of weird advice on, you know, how to rebound from toxic relationships. Who shall win the Dusty Award of the day? Jeopardy music! Drum roll, please! It's the second person, Yolandrea Bond. Yolandrea, why do you even look like that? I'm not talking about being ugly or being cute or anything. You look like a straight up G. Are you a Crip? Like, I need to know, like, can you Crip walk? Because you look like you never had a real job in your entire life. How did you even have a baby? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, you already have all of these felonies. You already have anger issues. Obviously, you have never been rehabilitated. Now you're on the news. Then you're on the Dusty News Network. Your ass is going to jail. Throw that dust on her. It's over for her. Well, guys, that's my time. Subscribe, hit the bell. Check me out here at the Dusty News Network. We out. Peace.